Well, good morning. This is the WeatherMonkey, and I've got an interesting weather situation here. Right here, I'm 600 feet above the Mississippi River in southeast Minnesota. The city is Winona. And what's interesting is we had a weather system come through the last few days, and everybody from the Rockies east knows about it. And of course, the people in California had to deal with it first. But I'm up, like I said, 600 feet above the Mississippi River. And as you can see, we got a little bit of snow up here. The interesting thing is going to be when I head back down into town. This up here, as far as the snowfall, which is, I'm guessing, 2 to 3 inches. I'm sure there were more than that as far as accumulation, but some of it has melted. So we're gonna take a left turn up here onto the county highway, and we're gonna head down the hill. And you can play this back when I'm finished to go back and look at what is up here versus 600 roughly feet below. And we're not going to be down on the river, so it's not exactly 600 feet. But there's a change about 400 feet. So we'll go down the hill about 200 feet and you'll notice the change. And then when we get into the city of Winona proper, you'll be surprised. They can give us a forecast of snow up to a certain amount of inches. And if it's early in the fall or late in the spring, not much is going to happen in the valley other than rain. Now, I'm not going to say it didn't snow in the valley. It did. But it was too warm to sustain it. So it melted as it hit the ground. So we're going down the hill here. I better downshift here because I don't want to get going too fast. I drop it down a couple gears just to slow the vehicle down a little bit. I still use the brakes. Brakes are cheaper than a new transmission. That's the way I look at it. So we're heading 150 or so feet down the bluff now. And if you notice, when we come around this corner, pretty much the snow is gone. You see a few little spots here and there, but for the most part, it's gone. And we're down about halfway, so we're a little bit over 300 feet down. I would say we're at 200 feet about right here. As you can see, there is no snow left. But we'll continue down. And then maybe I'll take the camera off the mount and I'll show you the bluffs from a distance away. And you can see a defining line on the side of the bluffs where it was too warm to sustain the snow. Okay, so we're pretty much at the bottom. A few more feet. And I'll take a left up here. See if I can get through this light. But as you can see, there isn't any snow. That light back there is on a trip, and if you don't hit it at the right time, certain times of the day, you're gonna sit there. So, but it worked out good for us. On the left is West Lake Winona, and on the east is East Lake Winona, and they're divided by this causeway, I guess you could call it. And it separates the lakes. So, as you can see, no snow down here, and the grass is actually greening up. And a lot of you don't realize, I had a lawn service business for 30 years. So I've always been out in the weather. It's always been something I've paid close attention to. There's been a lot of days that it rained and I wished it wouldn't, and there's been a lot of days that it didn't rain and I wished it would over those 30 years. But I always said I'd give up a good day of mowing for some good thunderstorms, even though it meant more work the next day. So I'll make a left turn here and face south. A lot of people would say west, because we're on the Minnesota side of the Mississippi River, but it's actually south here. The river runs west to east through this area. And people who live farther south understand that. You can go any direction when you get into Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana. So it's really rough patch of road here. That's why I'm going so slow. But let me get up close here and give you a good idea. I don't want to go on the walking path / bike trail, but if you look up in there, you can see there's definitely a line where the snow is on top and where the snow isn't on the bottom. So, and my vehicle's at quite an angle here. I could adjust the phone / camera to be a little straighter. There, now it's a little bit better. But you can definitely see the line from the snow to the no snow. So that's just a little interesting fact about living in the valley. Now the valley actually starts, well, it's pretty much the south side of St. Paul. And the river drops quite a bit between St. Paul to, say, Hastings, and then after that through Red Wing it really drops down into Winona down here. And like I said, we have 600-foot bluffs. So this is called the driftless area. According to geologists, the Great Glacier never came through this area. But it must have melted through this area because we've got a lot of erosion from many years ago. And then, of course, what was left behind was the Mississippi River. So, well, I'm sure you just don't want to see me driving through town. If you do, I suppose I could just keep going and end the video and then come back and edit it. But you probably don't. So, well, this will do it for today. I just want to say thanks anybody who's watching, and you do me a big service by liking this video and subscribing. So if you could do that, I would really appreciate it. Okay, let me get over here and I'll shut things down.